Well,
Hello?
hello, Jasmin.
Yeah.
Great. Andrew Rogers with Pedal Magazine here, and we're really glad to see you tonight. Thank you for making the interview possible. Really
Oh,
appreciate
no.
it.
No worries.
Let me introduce you better. Well, you are one of the youngest writers, almost 20 years old. Jasmin Glaesser. Hopefully, I'm saying it well.
Good enough.
Good enough. Okay, let's start from the beginning here. You are German by descent.
Yes.
You came to uh, Canada about 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yep.
Okay, so you've been growing up in Canada and you're now living in Victoria?
Vancouver, actually.
Okay, thank you. So tell us, you have, I know a bit about your background. I've heard that you began writing because you borrowed your father's mountain bike apparently when you got injured as a track runner, as a runner. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. Can we ask you what you ran?
3,000 meters. But I really wasn't any good.
Interesting. So
So,
that's an endurance race. Interesting. So how does something like running long distance, how did you get attracted to doing things like the team pursuit and getting on a bike?
um, well, even when I ran track, I really had a passion for training and challenging myself. So I would I would always go out and see how far I could run or for how long. And that didn't really you know, achieve any great results in a 3,000 meter race. But I think long term, it really planted the seeds of um, is giving me options as an endurance athlete. And so when I started cycling and I realized, this is a low impact sport and it's one where it's kind of a requirement to be able to um, ride for hours and hours, and
Yeah.
that really drew me in. And being from Vancouver, I'm really close to the Burnaby Velodrome, so that's where I started. And it's a ton of fun. Anyone who's ridden a track, I'm sure, can agree. The speed and the technical element and the competitiveness. It was just all really exciting. So I I just fell in love with it right away.
Right. So when did you actually start on a cycle? Were you 12 or 13, or did you start very recently?
No, I bought it when I graduated from high school, so I was 17. So that's when I bought my first road bike, and I started on the track just a few weeks later.
Wow. So that was what, 3 or 4 years ago?
It was 2009, so 4 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. So in the last 2.5 years, you've picked up quite a bit of gold and other medals here. Um, Congratulations on that. And in fact, just recently you were in Minsk, and what happened there?
Um, it was little bit of a different season after last year. Last year, obviously, there was a lot of focus on the games and on making sure we were in top shape for that. And this season, especially not having Tara Whitten, who's an amazing athlete and teammate, not having her part of the team really made it a bit more of a challenge for the rest of us. But I think we really came through at Worlds. We won a bronze, which is the same that we won last year. So I think that was a big accomplishment for us, and it really took the team coming together. So it was a victory on many levels. For myself, I also raced the points race, trying to better my silver medal from last year, and
Yes.
That didn't go so well.
Mhm.
But especially I think when you're a newer rider, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, and you have to take it as you come and just keep growing and learn from everything. So I
Absolutely.
definitely took a lot of experience away from that.
That's great. Well, you've only been competing for a few years, and it's you have a stellar resume already.
Sorry?
You didn't hear me. I said that you already have a stellar resume, considering you've only been on a bike for a few years. It's very impressive. Let's talk about the Tour of California. You were one of 15 women invited for that race. How were you invited first? we have a little bit of lapse here. Let's see if this comes back. There we go. Are you still there? And we have a little bit of a glitch here.
I got to select, so um, no worries.
Okay, I think I have you back.
Okay. What I read for Team TIFCO to the top, and
No,
they had the opportunity to send 2 riders, and I was fortunate enough that they gave me the opportunity to race there, because it's such an exciting opportunity to race against the very best time trialists in the world, and on something that I would say is probably one of the, if not the toughest time trial courses out there. So it was, for sure, it was a really exciting opportunity for me.
absolutely. Did you expect an invitation like this, or did your team help find this invitation for you?
I think the organizers offered the invitation to every team, or every North American team, to send 2 riders. So I was just lucky that my team decided to send me.
Great. Let me ask you this: it's a different pursuit, the team pursuit, than an ITT. If you can, try and compare them and contrast them as far as strategy and your particular strategy for doing the ITT, since it's not your specialty.
Uh, yeah, I mean, the nice thing is, coming from the track and training for the team pursuit, and you spend a lot of time in an aerodynamic position, working and riding in aero bars. So that definitely helps, because I feel really comfortable in that position, almost more than on my road bike. And also from the track, the training that you do, it carries over really well, because you're really used to training steady efforts and being able to, put out the most power in a certain amount of time. So for sure, an individual time trial is longer, and you're doing it by yourself. But I find a lot of it carries over, and I think not just myself, but some of my track teammates. I know they've had some really good successes in time trials this season as well. So I think that goes to show that track riders can be good time trialists, and I'm certainly hoping that's the case for the future for myself.
Yeah. Well, you're considered an all-arounder, but even though you specialize in the team pursuit, but what what would you be most interested in the future? You're only 20. You've got many years ahead of racing. What would be the types of races that would you consider stage racing, or is this ITT is or individual time trial be as much as you like to pursue in road
Um,
racing?
I think I really enjoy stage racing and hard road racing. Um, but I think the individual time trial at a world and maybe even Olympic level would be definitely something I would, really look forward to. Hopefully those opportunities come my way in the future. Um, but I mean, this season is my first season racing on the road full time, and it's just been eye opening. There's so many races, on the track. You have 3 World Cups or whatnot, and then a World Championship, and this season it's been almost every weekend you're racing somewhere. So it's a little bit different. It's a bit of a change, and I'm still kind of finding my way in and trying to do the best to support my team, because we have some phenomenal riders that it's been really great being able to ride for them and being able to help out, and at the same time learn really important lessons for myself going forward. But yeah, I think stage racing and time trialing and just anything that's really challenging, and those are kind of things I would aim to get better at down the road.
So you really are curious about everything still.
Yeah.
We're curious at Pedal if we're also going to write about you in the future about mountain biking. Should that happen? It's unusual that road people go to mountain. It's usually the opposite way, but it sounds like you started off on one, and perhaps it seems like you like to climb as well.
I do, and actually, when I first started riding, and I would just kind of take my dad's mountain bike. I think anyone that spent some time riding in BC knows that there's a lot more downhill trails than cross country, where I am anyway. So, and unfortunately, for those hoping for a mountain bike future, I only ever rode up to where the trailhead started, and then I came back down the access road. I don't know about the technical element. It's not really up my alley, I don't think.
Okay. Well, then what's next for you, and where do you see yourself in, since you were under 23, you have quite a few years to go with a lot of success already. We're talking about the 2011 gold. Your team got the gold in the team pursuit, UCI World Championships 2012. You got a silver and a bronze in Melbourne. And in 2013, recently in Minsk, you got a bronze in team pursuit. And wonderful. And you did very well also at the time trial here. What can you tell us about the time trial here that was so different, and what was the most difficult part?
The course itself was really hard. It was really long, almost 33 kilometers, and it finished on a 3-kilometer, really steep climb. So that makes it tough, and there was a lot of wind and a lot of rollers and a technical descent, so it really had everything. But the amount of spectators that were out on the course, especially on the climb at the end, and the caliber of the athletes I got to race against, and also the support of my team sponsors that came to kind of support the event and made sure we had the fastest equipment. It was definitely a new experience, and it was something I knew I hope I get to come back to in the years to come.
Yeah, we also hope so. We hope that they continue to invite the women. Not every year are they able to do that, but it was really great to see that. And I don't know if you noticed, but you might not have checked it, but a lot of you women, and I don't know, I don't have the time in front of me, but they were faster than the men. It was the very same course as the men.
Yeah.
And so you were blazing out there, and you did amazingly well, all of you. And it was a very, very tough one for the men as well. So kudos to everyone. Any other future? I'm sure you have a lot of podium wishes, but as far as the next Olympics, that will be in Brazil. I'd like to just ask you, how did you get picked for the team pursuit? Is it because you've been with the 3 other women training for a certain amount of time you were picked?
I came into the track program fairly late, so the Pan Am Games in October 2012 were actually my first ever international race, just because I didn't get my Canadian citizenship until a few weeks before, or I think it was maybe just even a week before. It was really close.
Before the Olympics or before the Pan Americans?
Yes, before the Pan Americans. So that was my first race.
Okay.
And I think when our team won gold there, it's like, wow, there's potential here, and this is also amazing. I want to be a part of this, and it really motivated me to kind of put everything else in my life on hold and really try to see how far I can go. And I took it one step at a time, and we had Olympic trials in June, and luckily I made the cut and was able to go to the games. So.
Awesome, that's great. And one last question, it's about you're on a Canadian team, or at least Linda, your coach, is Canadian as well. She's been grooming a lot of very successful riders in the past years. How do you feel that connection on being on TIBCO?
Yes, it is actually an American registered team,
Mm-hmm.
but like you said, the team founder, Linda Jackson, is Canadian, and there's actually a few more people involved with the team that are Canadian as well. So you do kind of feel that connection a little bit to home, and it makes it special. And I'm the only Canadian rider on the team this year.
That's right.
But for me, I right away I kind of felt like I fit into the team, and I really felt like we were all kind of a family, even though we're a fairly international squad. But I think it's worked out really well for me. So I think it's really allowed me to, take all the experiences this year, that, all the ups and downs, and really just take them as they are and make the best of them and have a good time doing it.
Great. So before we sign off, where are we going to see you next in the world racing?
I think I will be racing Philadelphia, and so that's beginning of June. Yep. Canadian Nationals for sure, and my team has an invite to the Giro Dawn. Wow. So hopefully you'll see me there as well.
Great. Look forward to it. And thanks so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you on many more podiums in the future.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.